Skipper's Tale, a story in Talisker 10 by Gixxer Skipper. Day breaks as streaks of sunlight shine through the stained glass window, rainbow colours dancing between the curtains. Finlay wakes to the sweet scent of peat smoke and wood-smoked kippers filling his nostrils. The smell still brought a smile to his face, even after all these years. Drawing back the curtains, he revealed another beautiful winter morning, his house overlooking the harbour. The easterly wind carrying swirls of chimney smoke past his window and out to sea. The local creel boats loading against the harbour wall, ready for the day ahead. The gulls lined up like little white soldiers waiting for an opportunity to snatch a breakfast meal. The rumble of his stomach prompted his departure from the window. Whistling kettle on the stove, bacon in the frying pan. He began each day with a strong coffee and a bacon roll, followed by a puff in his pipe, the odour of salt and clansman tobacco filling the room. Pulling on his yellow wellies and placing his tweed bonnet on his head, he steps out the front door of his cottage, greeted by an eager meow of the neighbour's tabby cat, his tail standing tall like the mast of a sailing ship, his nose held high, following the aroma of fresh seaside herring he weaved around Finlay's legs, then continued on his quest. Crossing the road to the small enclosed harbour, his boat tethered at the far end. "Bonny day for it," called out a busy fisherman. "Aye, no bad," replied Finlay. Jumping aboard, he hears the blast of a horn, looking up to see the guiding light, a small lobster boat sailing past. Danny, the skipper, waving out the wheelhouse door. A quick wave back before climbing the ladder to his own wheelhouse. Turning the keys one at a time, the Volvo diesel engines spring to life with a puff of black smoke from the exhaust stack. The radar and plotter powering up, the VHF radio crackles to life. Stornoway Coast Guard are busy broadcasting their weather forecast. Removing his charts from the old leather case and spreading them out across the table, compass and pencil in hand, plot a course. Destination, Portree, Isle of Skye. Back on deck, he cast off from the safety of the harbour wall and neatly coiled the bow and stern ropes. Returning to the skipper's chair, back behind the wheel, his voyage begins. Engines up to 1500 revs, he's cruising at 10 knots. The sun shining, the calm water glistening, he sits back, feet up, and puffs on his pipe as the harbour disappears into the distance. The seagulls follow, swooping low and gliding just above the surface of the sea, before pulling up and engaging in a dogfight battle like wartime Spitfires. A pod of dolphins playfully breach the surface on the horizon, the black silhouettes like mini submarines. He's in his happy place. Each day brings a new adventure, and this one was going to be a special one. After steaming for a couple of hours, the highland landscape begins to narrow. Armadale on the port side and Mallaig on the starboard side, the Kyle Ree up ahead. He had worked out the time of the tide so it would flow in his favour through the narrows of Loch Alsh. Gaining speed, the racing tide propelled his boat Aurora. The sky bridge loomed overhead, connecting the two land masses together like the bones of a skeleton. Steaming round the southern tip of Rassie, Portree lay in waiting. Switching the VHF to channel 12. Portree Harbour, this is MV Aurora, over," called out Finlay. "Portree Harbour receiving, over," replied the harbour master. "Good day, Portree Harbour. Permission to enter the berth alongside, over," he asked. "Good day, MV Aurora. Yes, proceed into the harbour, over," replied the harbour master. "Proceed into the harbour, over and out," Finlay repeated. Reaching the harbour wall, the engines into neutral, he ties up against the big oak beams before shutting down. Climbing the rusty ladder, the smell of seaweed and smoke fills his airways. A spring in his step, this adventure is nearing its terminus. One more journey to take. The CityLink 915. The bus pulls up and the doors open with a hydraulic hiss. "Talisker Distillery, please," Finlay exhales.